All right. Looks like we are live on Facebook. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to November's Rhyme and Line. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you're listening in to our poets, and I hope everyone had a good past month and a good, lovely Thanksgiving. Those who celebrate, and if you don't celebrate, that at least you try to give thanks for life anyway. So this evening we have a few of our poets from mostly all from the Virgin Islands, St. John and St. Thomas, and of course our poets joining us from the States as well. This evening we are going to start with Nathan Visel, who is, did I pronounce that right, Nathan? Visel, right? Okay. So Nathan is a regular on Rhyme and Line, although we missed him last month, and he's joining us from St. John. So please welcome Nathan.
Thanks. I actually skipped the island over for tonight. I'm in Puerto Rico.
Oh,
doing
Puerto Rico.
Thanksgiving stuff with family, but I can almost see you from where I'm at, so that counts, I guess.
The lights in the distance.
Yeah. A little thankfulness inspired reflection poem, something really short tonight. How many times have I walked the beach unseeing? Gulls contending with ghosts, the mollusks crowded by memory, the entire symphony of the waves unheard, muted out by dialogues long gone. Please let me break from that duplicitous siren song of reverie. Let me never unsee that light reflected off the water, and put my hammer down long enough to actually listen. Hear how the dry palm fronds rustle. Sounds a little like soft rain. Witness how that same sand that scalded my feet an hour ago is now cold to the touch. So forgetful, wiped clean and clean and clean again from both seabirds and honeymooners' initials. And yeah, all of us here are boundaried, but maybe not by one as literal as the shoreline. Here at the terminus of who we are and who we have been. So let me taste the salt air, feel the spice-laden breeze caress me in passing on its way to a hazy future like a Pablo Neruda poem. Strange and sad and beautiful and only half understood, carrying 1,000 whispers of islands on its back. I did.
Lovely. Beautiful. What's the name of that one? The title of that poem?
Pick
Untitled?
one. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I really think, I don't know if it's just me, but I really think your poetry has, at least for me anyway, I have enjoyed it more and more as throughout the past year. So I don't know if I can say it's getting better, but I am enjoying it more than your earlier poems a year ago somehow. So
Thank you, Jamaica. Maybe we're just lowering the bar as we go. I don't know. But, no, I think it's a great community space. It's given us an incentive to all work on it. So yeah, maybe thanks to you, we're all improving our craft or something. I'm just grateful for it. Thanks for everybody for participating.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us from Puerto Rico. And have a great rest of your weekend.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Night.
Bye, Nathan. All right. Up next, we have, go with Kayden. Kayden, if you're ready.
Yeah, I got something short though. Nothing too crazy.
Okay. And if you want to just introduce yourself for those who might not know you, just because you are still new to Rhyme and Lime, your second time here, and yeah, feel free to let people know about you and what your poem's about.
Hi, I'm Kayden Richards. I'm from St. John. I'm 22 years old. I'm a nature and animal photographer. This is basic.
Okay, please go.
Uh, I don't have a title for this poem, but I'll just go.
Okay.
Ego, what is that when you look to the stars? Kind of hard to be wrapped in that when you're aware how tiny we are down here. Fighting with mortality, I have beef with the inevitable. My shadow is lurking, waiting for a sucker punch. I'm too quick to touch with almost every thought. Cultivating patience is all that I currently care about. That's it.
I like it.
Thank you,
Thank
thank you,
you.
thank
And just one tonight, yeah?
you. Yeah, this one.
Okay. All right. Thanks for sharing.
Of
I like it.
course. Well,
You know what I would love to see, Kayden, is just a thought, is um, I don't know, bringing your photography into the poetry somehow. Like a photo and a poem to go along with it.
yeah, yeah.
Since you're a photographer, just an idea.
I have a couple of pictures like that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
So
right. Well,
maybe
yeah,
maybe
just a
sometime
idea for next time, maybe.
you can do that.
For next month. All right. Cool. All right. Next up, we have Andrew Rutnik. Andy, you ready?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Um, this is a political poem, and given the times we're in just recently with the election, there was a lot of pent-up emotion and feelings and connection to the victory,
Mm-hmm.
and it inspired this poem because I have all these things I've wanted to say and these new feelings since the election, how it's changed my temperament and almost overnight. So this is called On the Horizon. Our breath is relaxed. We are no longer forced to gasp. Our hearts and hopes entwine. The future is ours at last. The mornings are not interrupted by last night's fear and hate. Our days are lazy, returning to the past when living was easy. Time is less urgent. We waited anxiously for this day to come. What's next? No one can be sure, but the evil has been purged. Progress will heal our wounds, but not the damage to our nation. The falseness and the lies, like a bad stain, won't easily go away. How quickly we can forgive and settle all our political scores. A nation so divided cannot just move on without recognizing its fragile existence. We withstood an attack on our democracy and its most basic principles, but it uncovered an overt racism that was far from being democratic. The blatant racism, misogyny, and corruption that now must be confronted, whose depth and breadth across America is so shamelessly displayed. The nation has long been comfortable with the basic form of its democracy. Now it doesn't fit, like a shoe that has lost its shape and has become uncomfortable. Our perfect union is not a given. Our rights are never really secure. When tyrants can convince millions that truth is arbitrary and only for the fools. There are many in this great nation who are ready to explore the true meaning of democracy and the power it gives to all. We still simmer with anger. Our suffering has been great. The future is still uncertain. We are yet not sure of our fate. But the tyrant is now gone. Truth is true. The brainwashing is now over, and the divisiveness is slowly in retreat. We will never go back and make it great again. We only can go forward and make it great. With our eyes wide open, a national conscience has been awakened. It's calling for change and real equality. Our democracy has been tested, battered and beaten by the ego of a maniac, trampling on our values with his tasteless chants and tweets, proclaiming white power while violence raged in the streets. 80 million people said no to this corruption, ignorance, and fear, while 72 million people said yes to maintaining a privileged society. Majority is the rule, but it doesn't solve the problem. Our faith has been shaken. The resolve has been obscured. Neighbors are now estranged, fueled by hate from the tyrant, who sows mistrust and violence with every touch of his phone. But heal we must, for anger and hate can never coexist with love and respect. The people have now decided. Our votes now have been counted. Never again will we let our country be so divided. Our horizon is wide. Opportunities now abound. Hope is alive as our dignity has been restored. Our nation is once again indivisible with equal justice for all. The evil has been exorcised. The veil of the tyrant lifted. Good has triumphed and the light of truth shines bright. So,
Wow.
a lot of things in that.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
I have to
a lot of
say,
feelings.
it's very optimistic.
I am always optimistic.
More
It's
optimistic
always going to get better.
I think. But it is very powerful and very, very hopeful. I like it.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Andy.
Okay.
We missed you too the last couple months, so it's been a while.
Well, it's good to be back, and I'll be writing some more as
Good.
we get into the calmer days of the future.
Yes. Yeah. It definitely feels like at least something gave in 2020, right? Like a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. All right. Next up, we haven't had a female poet yet this evening. We will have Raven join us. Raven, are you ready? A lovely Raven.
I guess I kind of have to be, don't I?
How are
So
you
I
doing?
actually had. Oh, I'm doing okay. How are you?
All right.
I actually have two tonight.
We have time.
So the first one I wrote a few months ago, probably towards like the start of the pandemic when we were all stuck at home, and I think I was binging a bunch of shows about people that have done long prison sentences and stuff like that, and I was listening to the interviews, and I thought it was pretty interesting listening to the stories that they told for how they ended up in the situations that they ended up in. And after watching it, I wrote this first poem. It's called Dividing Line. Looking through the cold steel bars of your tiny cell, I ask myself, what separates us? We both hate, we love. I've imagined killing, kind of. I'm willing to cop that the idea has popped into my head once or twice, but suffice to say, I don't think we're that different. You're no monster my mind has conjured, not some creature or demon either. So I think society's problem with you goes much deeper. You're the reminder that we want to forget. We're upset that inside us all is the will to harm others and maybe even kill. Your actions terrify because they exemplify deep fears, like what we could do, who we could be, and what we would lose if we let free those inner desires the entire human race locks away. And they cannot accept that it's easy to reject morality. In reality, any of us can kill, but who will is a matter of circumstance. So again, what separates us? Not just the iron gates or these bars or this building or these guards, it's fate. And ironically, she takes no prisoners. That's the first one. The
Love that
second
one.
one, thank you. The second one I wrote, started a few days ago, finished maybe yesterday or so. It's called
Fresh.
Fairy Tale. Very fresh, very fresh. This one's called Fairy Tale. Is this the same love that had knights slay dragons, fight wars, weather winters, storm kingdoms? Is this the same love girls in towers scoured the countryside with pretty hair tied in gold string and flowers, hoping their Prince Charming would come through and rescue them from solitude? Is this my knight in shining armor, the king of Camelot to my pining Guinevere, or even my Lancelot? I think not. I think maybe the problem lies elsewhere. Maybe it's this narrative of saving, of praying every waking day, throwing time and your life away while wasting away in a prison they told us it was noble to cling to. There is no magic and no control over your story, in being a plot device in some hero's journey, of your death or downfall developing men and decorating castle walls. You need freedom, not saviors or slayers of monsters expecting your life as payment. You deserve to wield your own sword, and the mightiest of all is the pen you'll use to record your new story. You.
I love it. That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing and joining us this evening. And yeah, keep writing your poetry and doing your thing. I was remembering recently, Priscilla and David are busy this evening, so they're not able to join us. But the Bahuel Soul sent an email out about the Grigri project. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's they're looking for submissions from artists, the Virgin Islands artists and poets, to add to. It's basically a project about the, what is it, specific to the pandemic and recording this time that we're living, which in the future people are going to look back on and just see what came of the arts and what the life was like. And so this project is part of recording this history that we're living right now, and the arts. So if you're interested, just reach out to David and Priscilla or Buffalo Story, and they can send you the application to submit for the poetry or arts, if you want to enter in the project. All right. So we have, let me see. Last but definitely not least, we have Tyrone, Ty, who has been missing from Rhyme and Lime for many, many months. And I'm so happy that we have him here this evening joining us. So please welcome Ty from St. Thomas. Make sure
Okay. Hi.
unmuted.
Yeah, here we are.
There you are.
Thanks for the warm welcome. It's good to be back. It's been a while. So I have two pieces. One is a little bit older, And the second is the first thing I've written in a couple of months. Had a really hard time putting words
Nice.
to paper lately, so I hope you guys like it. This first one is one I first read about 6 months ago, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a little longer, at Random Line. It's, I think, fitting for the season and the current political landscape. It's titled Blue Chair, Bay Dragon. An old bay dragon lives on the beach. He despises his neighbors, he loathes his children, he destroys and kills and eats. But he loves this bay and the blue chair that he brought there because they belong to him. This beach is his. This old bay dragon doesn't have many neighbors left. He swallowed them up or drove them off or waited for them to die and stole the land from their children. For this dragon is wise. He has done this before, and this beach is his. The old bay dragon lords over a worm cult brimming with barbaric, frothing lunatics that swarm over the land like locusts, following their Pied Piper, hoping to become dragons themselves someday. They love and worship an old dragon that does not even know their name. But this is fine. They have done this before. Everything is fine because this beach is theirs. Bay dragons do not breathe ice. Instead, they fancy themselves benevolent saviors, but they breathe pestilence and despair. They believe themselves innovative visionaries, but in truth, they have one thing. They possess the unique ability to erase history, to erase cultures, traditions, stories, people, reality itself, and replace them all with their own, with those of their cult. And this is how the beach is theirs. Dragons can live for centuries on the lifeblood and the land and the dreams of those they erase. And this dragon is a glutton. But this is fine. We have done this before. Because, in truth, this beach is ours. There will be casualties, make no mistake. Friendships will sunder, money will burn, but idols will be torn down regardless. My grandmother is buried on this land, and her father before her, and his mother before him, and they scream into my heart that they will not be silent. They scream that that this beach is mine. Slaughtering dragons is simple, but not easy. Fire is needed. So that's one.
And actually, before you go to the next one, if I may, because you have this ongoing series of dragon poems, which I enjoyed listening to over the past year, what does the dragon present to you, if I may ask?
Sorry, repeat that?
Or does it, the dragon, what does it represent to you in these poems?
I think it depends
Is it a representation? Is that a...
Yeah, I think it depends on which work we're listening to. Here, we're talking about the spirit of neocolonialism and that spirit of Willie Lynch that still lives on. And I think it's ever present and especially noticeable in the little things, you know? We still celebrate the Native American genocide every year. It's super crazy. So here, I
Yeah.
think we're talking about just the spirit of Willie himself. They're not always malicious, though, at least in my work. And the second piece is a little bit lighter. It was written for a friend
Well,
for her
thanks for sharing
birthday.
that.
Yeah, and not a problem.
Nice.
So this is called Look Again. I've heard them called ugly, but look again. These are not scars on my hands, or I suppose these are not just scars on my hands. This is a collection of stories. Would you like to hear how bleach and fabuloso affect human skin after a dozen years? Or what it looks like to pull a fish scale from between fingernails? Let's play a game. Try to guess how many toes I've broken. I have a name for every hot oil burn and twice as many tails to match. You see, the secret I've found to keeping youthful is a tight smile about these things. The late nights bring dark circles, but the loveliest laugh lines. Every heartbreak, every loss, and every disappointed sigh has left a line in the story to end all others. One to be told 1,000 times over to 1,000,000 pairs of listening ears. And we're still writing. So raise a glass to the second greatest canvas in the world, us. And raise a glass to the world herself and to the marks that will last forever. Thank you.
Beautiful. That was lovely. Thank you. That's a wonderful birthday poem. Love it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll maybe see you again next month if we're lucky.
Fingers
You don't have
crossed.
to work.
Fingers crossed, actually.
And if not, then 2021.
Then 2021. Thank you for having me.
All right. It looks like I'm gonna check. Hadia couldn't join us this evening, but she did send a poem for me to read on her behalf. So give me a moment here. Okay, so I'm going to read two poems by Hadia Sewer, which I hope I don't. I think they'd be much more beautiful coming out of her mouth, but I will try to do them justice. The first one is entitled The Lover. I think it something beautiful that even in death the sun would love me, and find it pertinent to make love to my flesh and gather my bones and give rays of ecstasy as martyrs and vectors of hope. Perhaps I scared the man-child, always, and then scattered the boy, but flesh is never too weak for lovers who are sun. Beautiful. I love that one too. And the second one by Hadia is entitled Grounded. Tell the Wata, see me here so. I'm a tree, like any other tree, and I need you and the sun to survive. I need openness and sensitivity. These, my love, are no small asks, but they are indeed necessary conditions. Thank you, Hadia, for sharing. And maybe next month we'll hear you speak your poetry yourself. I hope I did them justice. I thought they were two lovely poems. It looks like there were a couple other poets who might join us, but at this time they're not with us. I can read my poem, and if anyone else, any of our other poets that are here, want to share anything else, just let me know, and you can join in after mine. So let me just So my poem this evening is dedicated to the cold-hearted ones and those of us who have had to endure and survive the pain and hurt that they've caused. And hopefully have peace in knowing that their season will come. So this is entitled, There Will Come a Season. There will come a season when all your leaves have fallen, like mine have fallen. Your branches left bare and cold, and all this pain and misery you have carelessly poured into me will rain on you threefold, endlessly. There will come a season when even your roots, frozen but alive, will begin to rot with regret, and you will finally understand how it feels to be treated with such neglect that you welcome the axe. And in that season, you will see me across the meadow in full bloom for no reason, and my colors will hurt your eyes. So bright, vibrant I will be, surrounded by my children who feed and nourish me. And you will finally see what you don't see now. There will come a season when the axe does come, cutting you down foot by foot, and you will yearn for me as you burn alone for someone else's comfort. You will finally feel the pain I feel now. And I will look across the meadow and watch the smoke from your ashes rise and disappear, while my roots dig ever deeper, surrounded by the nutrients of the love you could never give. And I will weep a single tear for you, a drop of moisture absorbed by the soil, feeding my roots as I grow ever stronger in your absence.
Wow.
And that's my poem for this evening. So
Jamaica,
perhaps maybe not a thankful poem, but is there anyone else who wants to share another poem or words?
I'd like to read
Thomas?
I'd like to read a couple poems by a poet I discovered and lately very thankful for discovering her. She was born on St. Thomas, and she now lives on the mainland and teaches at Dartmouth University. And I came across a poem of hers in the anthology that I had mentioned to you and the others before. So I have two poems by Nicole Seeley, who's, and one of them, the first poem is called, I don't know if, can you see that image?
Yes.
It's a very strange image. but it gives the title.
It is.
It is a strange image, and she describes it in this first poem I'll read, which is called Candelabra with Heads. And it's from her book, Ordinary Beast, which I highly recommend to all of you.
And
Candelabra.
again, this is Nicole Seeley, who's originally from St. Thomas.
Yeah. Born on
Yeah,
St.
she's
Thomas.
wonderful.
I think she's 40 this year. So that'll give you some perspective. Had I not brought with me my mind as it had been made, this thing, this brood of mannequins cocooned and mounted on a wooden scaffold, might be 8 infants swaddled and sleeping, might be 8 fleshy fingers on one hand, might be a family tree with 8 pictured frames. Such treaties occur in the brain. Can you see them hanging? Their shadow is a crowd stripping the trees of souvenirs. Skin shrinks and splits. The bodies weep fat, the color of yolk. Can you smell them burning? Their perfume climbing as wisteria would a trellis. As wisteria would a trellis, burning. Their perfume climbing, fat, the color of yolk. Can you smell them? Skin shrinks and splits. The bodies weep as a crowd, stripping the tree of souvenirs. Can you see them hanging, their shadow frames? Such treaties occur in the brain. Might be a family tree with 8 pictured, might be 8 fleshy fingers on one hand, might be 8 infants swaddled and sleeping and mounted on a wooden scaffold, this brood of mannequins cocooned as it has been made, this thing, had I not brought with me my mind. Who can see this and not see lynchings? That's a powerful poem to me.
It is.
And I had the good luck of attending by Zoom a reading that she gave at Dartmouth University, where she teaches, and it's more powerful, of course, in her voice. And all I can do is recommend her work to all of us. This last one I'll read is called, and it was the first one I found in this anthology. It's called Object Permanence. It's written as a love poem for her husband. Like every other poet I know, she writes mostly about death and sex, and she does so better than most. This is called Object Permanence, and it's for John. We wake as if surprised the other is still there, each petting the sheet to be sure. How have we managed our way to this bed, beholden to heat like dawn, indebted to light? Though we're not so self-important as to think everything has led to this, everything has led to this. There's a name for the animal love makes of us, named, I think, like rain for the sound it makes. You are the animal after whom other animals are named. Until there's none left to laugh, days will start with the same startle and end with caterpillars gorged on milkweed. Oh, how we entertain the angels with our brief animation. Oh, how I will miss you when we're dead.
Wow. That's so lovely.
She's one of your own from St. Thomas. So please go out, Google Nicole Seeley, born on St. Thomas, teaching at Dartmouth University. Her book is Ordinary Beast. And I just am so glad that I met her in the pages of an anthology and came across her poem. I would have really regretted not knowing her poetry, as indeed I would have regretted not knowing Tyrone's and Raven's and Nathan, Kayden's and Andy's and yours, Jamaica. Thank you so much for keeping this going. It's such a gift to all of us.
Oh, thank you, Thomas. It's always great to have you and what you bring to Rhyme and Lime. I'm actually so happy that you are introducing or exposing Nicole Seeley on here for poets who don't know her. Like we briefly talked earlier, I only recently learned about her and was reading her poetry just in the past 6 months or so. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's brilliant, and she's from St. Thomas, of course. So
I will send you her email, and maybe you could email her and give her an invitation to join us next month or the month after that.
yeah, that would be wonderful. It'd be so great to have her on, for sure. Inspiration. Thank you. Does anyone else want to share another poem before we end the night? Yes, Tyrone. Please.
Don't make it sound like that. Yeah. One more because I'm feeling festive. So this was the first thing I ever wrote. Seriously, I think this was the first thing I ever did at Rhyme and Lime.
Wow.
And it's it's titled "Oh Dragon." O dragon, with scales that smell of cedar, I bow before you. Or I would, if not for the bindings I find around my hands, my feet, my neck. O dragon, with spine of oak and iron, I beg for your mercy. Or I would, if I believed you shared my tongue or my heart. Your servants do not. O dragon with great white wings, I wonder why you swim and choose not to fly. Or I would. The air in your belly is too heavy to ponder such things, too thick with the suffering of my brothers. O dragon, master of the horizon and the great sea, I offer you a song and dance of praise each day. Or I would, but the ones that serve you allow it. No, they demand it just once a week. O dragon, whose blood runs black and thick like tar, I hear your groans echoing well into the night. I will heal you and my son both. He is but 3 rows behind me. Or I would. But you have taken me far from my home, my herbs, my elders. Let me see to him. What does an ailing dragon need with 200 men? O dragon, who swallows men and breaks them, I admit defeat. I will cast myself into the ocean when next the sun kisses my face. Or I would, but I see your servants grow weaker. They no longer laugh and sing as they go about their business on your back, and their faces grow even more pale. And the ancestors have whispered to me and placed a dream in my belly. O dragon, whose heart is decked with tiny flames that dance behind glass, I will bury my son. He no longer answers my call, nor do any of the others that share my mother tongue. Or I would. But I fear my strength will fail me before I can. My spirit flags with each passing day, and the man whose arm is chained to mine has begun to rot. O dragon, who has taken my son from me. I will speak to your servants and ask them to see reason, and it will be their last chance. Or I would. But I still hear the screams of our wives and our sons and daughters that continued after we're dragged out of sight. Your men do not realize that we have learned your tongue. They are as foolish as you. O dragon, who has consumed my son and my heart both. Your servants whisper about nearing Cuba. I will kiss the earth when I touch her next and savor the grass between my fingers. Or I would. But my brothers and I are of one accord, and you and your men will never see land again. O dragon, littered with the bodies of the dead and the dying, whose boards groan under growing flame, I will tell my ancestors of you. Or I would. But I will not meet my father and his father in the next life. I will not run and hunt on the plains eternal with them. For I will die far from home, far from our sacred lands and our rights of life and love and death. But so will you. O dragon, herald of Ishu himself, you mindless god of rage and hate, whose final journey ends today, I will offer death rites to your servants that we have killed. Or I would, if we had not thrown them all overboard, as they did my son and my brothers that did not live to see you burn. You see, the fire we lit in your belly rages on, and we will die smiling, standing on your back, because we have overcome you. O dragon, that spirits men across the sea, rest eternal in her depths, with my brothers and with me. Thank you.
Of that one. I can't tire of that one. It's like, and it's interesting. I didn't know that was one of the first poems you've ever written. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it was the first thing I wrote after I started taking this thing seriously.
Yeah, and I remember. I think that's the first one you ever shared at Rhyme and Lime in the gallery. Yeah. So every time it takes me away. Like, it's definitely a journey. Like, you take us on a journey, and it's a wonderful feeling, and it's deep, and can't get tired of that one. So keep sharing it. And thank you for sharing again. Raven or anyone else want to share another poem before we end the night?
No, I'm sorry, I don't have anything else.
Okay, just checking. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us this evening and sharing your words and journeys and thoughts with us. I really appreciate it, and good to see a couple of our poets that we haven't seen for a while come back. And we will see I can't believe 2020 is almost over. And so we have one more Rhyme and Lime before to end the year, this crazy year. So hopefully next month, if all goes according to plan, we will have our final Rhyme and Lime of 2020. I am expecting a baby boy in January, so if he comes early, Rhyme and Lime might be postponed. So we'll see. But if not, then we'll see you all next month for the last Saturday in December during the holidays. And I hope everyone stays well and yeah, keep up your positive spirits and look forward to seeing you next month. Have a good night. Bye.